Hey everybody, so here is my 100th video and the tutorial for my most recent original card trick. It uses 3 decks of cards, but I am working on a way that uses only 1 deck of cards due to Miss Meg822's request, or suggestion, I should say. If you have not seen the performance for this amazing trick, please check out the link right here. It's a pretty simple trick, very straightforward, you can use it a lot. It does use a setup, clearly, but it's a very small setup and a very easy reset. Well, not that small, uses 3 decks too. It's a very easy reset, that's the good part. Now, here's what you do. From 3 decks of cards, remove the exact same 13 cards from ace through king. Now, the way I'm doing it is, so I have like 4 cards away from the previous, in other words, here I have a spade, so you need to go 4 cards before I get to another spade, and 4 cards before I get to another spade, 4 cards. The idea is that you don't want them to be too close together. You want at least 2 cards separating similar suits. So once again, here I have, between ace and 5, I have 3 cards. You want at least 2. So, once you've removed the exact same 3 cards from each deck, you take them and set them up in the following order. This is going to be deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. So, from deck number 1, you take the cards and make sure that the king is the top card in the deck. So I just reverse the order. The ace is the face card, the king is the top card. Those go on top of deck number 1. Now for the second deck, the ace should be on top. That would make the king at the bottom. These cards go on top of the deck and are then covered by 2 indifferent cards. Next, you have these 13, which also go with the ace at the top, and those just get set down on top of the deck. Now, this should work every time, and so basically you have them name a number, any number they'd like, from 1 to 10. Now, it really could be any number from 1 to 11, because of our setup, but I suggest doing 1 to 10, because that seems like a normal number. As opposed to 1 to 11 seems like you're forced to go within 1 and 11, but 1 to 10, I mean, people will often say pick a number from 1 to 10, so it doesn't seem awkward at all. Also, a big part of this trick that makes it effective is the psychology behind it. They think that from seeing 3 full decks of cards out on the table, they think that they are making their selection from a full deck of cards from each one, which make the possibility, that would be 52 to the 3rd power, which I'm not going to do in my head, or on paper, or anything, or using a calculator even. But the other thing that the odds would be 52 to the 3rd power, when really, the odds, because you're saying 1 to 10, I hope I make sense, are really only, let's see, that would be 10 to the 3rd power, which is 1,000, so it's really not that big a deal. It's not, if the odds are not as big as they would think. Boy, I hope I made sense just now. Anyway, what you have them do is you have them name a number from 1 to 10, any number they like. Let's go with 5. Say they said 5. What you do is you deal down 5 cards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th card. You take a look at the 5th card, it's the 9 of spades, and set it back down on top of those cards that you've dealt down. Take the rest of the cards, drop them on top. Now you do deck number 2. Now we saw a 9 in deck number 1. In deck number 1, that tells us to go down 9 cards here, so you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th card we take a look at, it's the 7 of clubs. Set that back down on top, drop the rest of the cards. Since it was a 7, we need to go down 7 cards in the red deck. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the 7th card you just set down. By now you should have all matching cards at the top. Now, I'm going to give a few more tips and interesting thoughts on this trick. But before I do that, I just want to say, please guys, comment, tell me if this trick fooled you when you just saw the performance, and please leave video responses of you performing this trick. Please like this video, subscribe. It's my 100 videos. Anyway, few tips. First of all, notice I have 3 decks. The colors are blue, black, blue, and red. In that specific order. This is deck number 1, deck number 2, deck number 3. What's special about this is that it's in alphabetical order. I really suggest doing this. It's how I remember. Instead of having to remember an order, you just remember that you have these 3 decks, put them in alphabetical order with the setup. This being deck number 1, because BLA comes before BLU, BLU comes before, well, RED. Anyway, once you've got it set up like that, it makes it much simpler to remember the trick. One more thing. When you are performing, you want 3... let's go with this one. Here we go. You want 3 different... you want the exact same faces. You want the faces to all look the same, like you have with rider back or standard cards. They all look pretty much identical. The difference would be, like I'm going to show you with some other decks of cards. Just the ending, I have a pink deck, a blue deck, and a Bicycle Guardians deck. All of which has somewhat different faces. The end, when you turn over the cards, all of these are different, which somewhat takes away from the dramatic effect of having 3 identical cards at the top of the deck. It's not such a big deal, but I like to use it where all the faces are the same. And one more thing. You don't have to use the exact setup that I use from ace to king. You could, if you'd like, and I don't know if you really would want to do this, but you could work backwards. What I mean by this, work forwards. In other words, set up the top 10 cards so that no matter which number they say, in some random order, like, here, let's just take the top 10 cards here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, oh sorry, we don't want the same value. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe I should do this from the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So we have 10 cards. Take those, set them on top, and then if you'd like, you can do the math to figure out. So, let's see, if they say 1, then I put down 1 card. Or let's say they say 5. So we put down 5 cards. This is 4, 5. The 5th card is a 10. And the top card now is a Jack of Clubs. So now I know that I have to put the Jack of Clubs 10 cards down in the pack. Which is slightly difficult, takes a lot more time. The way I suggested. Much faster, much simpler. I really suggest doing it my way. If you don't want to though, you could put the extra work into it. Now, one more thing. Anyway, back to the reset. Once we're in this position, let's say got that many cards down. Depending on which deck you have, you'll have a certain number of cards. This will be, could be any one of the 10 cards, this top card in the deck. So, I look at it, it's a 9. That tells me that I have to go all the way until the 8 at the bottom of the deck. Here's what I mean. You reverse the order of these cards at the bottom of the deck until you get to that card that they stop you at. Or until you get to the card that's 1 less than the top card. Set the rest of the pack on top, and you are now completely reset. So, please comment, rate, subscribe, thank you, and hope you enjoyed it. Did it fool you? Please tell me that. When you saw the performance, did this trick fool you? Do you think it's worth performing? If you perform it, please post video responses. And see you next time.